Well, hello there, my friends. Welcome back to the Operational Art of War 4. For those of you that are new to this campaign, I highly recommend you take a look at the playlist down below and start from there, because there's a lot that's happened here, and we are playing, or trying to play, the entire Indochina War, the French Indochina War. So if you are a fan of this series and you want to see episodes uploaded more regularly, make sure to hit that like button. Same if you're not a fan, or if you're new to the series and you're just curious. So, we have managed to push the enemy out of the north quite a lot, guys, as you can see here, and I want to finish up the job. We've got a lot of ligne de latre infantry units, and I'm going to try and go ahead. We also have some paratrooper units here. I want to see if I can move these guys to the front lines. Right now, their movement points are just not allowing us to really move them anywhere. I'm not seeing any enemy units in front of us. They're all up here. So we'll have to see what that's about. It could be a lack of supply, or perhaps we just can't move very well here in the city. So what I am going to do is see if there are any units here in this stack that can be moved. If not, we're going to continue our attacks in the north, despite the fact that we're well out of supply, but I still think we could do a lot of damage. So we can get some tactical air support here. I think we're going to go ahead and ask the Roussillon bombers to move in. I think they're bombers. If I'm mistaken on that, let me know in the comments down below. And we're actually hitting an enemy HQ unit. As you can see, there are two enemy HQ units, 2-star generals here. And I believe this is Tai Nguyen. Yes. So if we got Nguyen, this is a massively strong Viet Minh general. Be pretty cool. So success is fair. Pretty good. That's good enough for me. I also want to attack this artillery position, as artillery can do nothing but harm us, so let's get as many people involved as possible. And as you can see, the paratroopers cannot join the fight, although they've done an excellent job so far, so that's okay. It's about time they got a break. Alright, let's move the Para-Legion over here. We've got some more paratroopers. We could see some Viet Minh units popping up. Now, this is because of the fog of war. We couldn't see where they were before. Now, of course, we can see where they are. We can't attack this here. Well, actually, we might be able to. Let's just see how many men we can bring. No, I don't think this is enough. No way. Cancel that attack. And this infantry division that got behind our lines, I will attack them, but we have to use some pretty weak CFO line infantry units. As you can see, their attack power is only 1. They're not very strong, but hopefully we can break through. They're, of course, behind our lines. Even though the likelihood of success is poor, I am going to try. We also have some gunboats here, and it would be a shame not to use these gunboats. To do that, I have to move these units forward as well. You saw that massive group of units, so I'm going to plan on attack here in the south too, and we might also be able to catch that HQ off guard, hopefully. We're also bringing in some irregulars. They're not great. They're essentially units that can only stay here in the city, but if it's all we have, we need to use them. We also have a few French forces as well. But you can see the cooperation is 67, which is really bad, and that's because we're not just talking to Vietnamese forces, we're talking to some South Korean forces, etc. A lot of different people help the French in this particular war. It may not have been the South Koreans, maybe at that time the actual Koreans. Let's go ahead and attack there. Now I want to move down the line and see if we can move any of this armor up. We got moved back from Vinh. Let's see if it's just as packed with enemies. Oh yeah, this area is definitely packed. So we're going to try to attack this with armored units. I think we can break through. And we have some bomber support, which is wonderful. That's actually coming from Saigon in the south. We're close enough to be getting its air support. But over here, as you can see, I mean, the enemy's cut us off. We're stuck over here in Quang Tri. We can't move. We are totally stuck. I'm going to group move here, and I'm going to try to attack this HQ. I think they've made a big mistake leaving it out here, but maybe we're making a huge mistake attacking it. I'll say that's acceptable. So along the coast, the enemy is basically starting an entirely new attack. And if you actually look at, this is what we call the last episode, Hue is burning, because the ancient city of Hue, which is basically the ancient city of the Vietnamese kingdom, you know, thousands or hundreds of years ago, maybe even thousands of years ago as well, it's an ancient city, and this is where a lot of the communist forces rose up. So we've got these massive infantry divisions rising out of Hue. As you can see there, it's worth 10 victory points, which is really good. So we're going to have to fight those guys off. I think they'll probably smash our coastal forces, and if that's the case, we can't really move troops from Saigon up that way. Haha, see what I did? We can't move the forces up that way. Oh, I'm gonna kill myself with puns. So we have to fight it out here in the south and in the north separately. Okay, I'm going to try and hit this fellow here. I think we can pretty much destroy him. Impossible to predict, and I'm going to keep moving the CFO Saigon units into the swamp. We're actually trying to get to that southern city. There is one city in the south here that is pro-Viet Minh, although thankfully most of the areas in this region are pro-us, but only because we're extremely violent and because a lot of the montagnards that live in this area work for us. Otherwise, they would probably hate us. We're bringing in these gunboats for the fight. Oh, I would love to see the tracer rounds there. The chances of winning are still very poor, but we're going to make the best of it. Okay, let's end the turn here. Let's hope for the best. Don't let them take the city, men. Alright, we hit the HQ there. Wonderful. Now, did we manage to make it retreat? That's the real question. Fighting the enemy here in the swamps in the south. I think in the south we're generally going to do pretty well. It's in the north, on the border there of the north, that we're going to have problems. We did manage to move the enemy back there. I'm not surprised. I also wouldn't be surprised if we moved that artillery piece back. It looks like they may have held their positions. That's the gunboat attack. And this is the attack I really want to work, because we've got too many enemy units behind our lines. It looks like it did work, but it just further pushed the enemy deeper into our lines. Of course, we can deal with them in time. By the way, guys, for those of you that have been watching this series for a while, do you prefer this zoomed out view, or do you like the slightly more zoomed in? I'm trying sort of a new view because it's easier to see all the units at once. But if you guys prefer something zoomed in, please do let me know. So over here, for instance, we attacked and completely destroyed an entire army. This is what we've been doing in the past episodes that's really worked out, is cutting off the Viet Minh forces and surrounding them and just destroying them. Sure, we took a lot of prisoners here as well, although I wouldn't think that the French would be very nice to them. Probably a lot of torture and questioning. Now here in the south, we also moved back to Viet Minh, but they actually ran in time, and I would say that technically they ended up doing more damage to us, taking out 2 jeeps. Believe it or not, a Jeep in this time period, this was all post-World War II equipment the French had, so a Jeep was pretty valuable, you know. Even here, we fought, but they managed to knock out a few of our vehicles. So, what do? We keep fighting. Attack again. Definitely work them down, and with some air support, I think we can break through here. There we go. Likelihood of success is good with that air support, of course. That thing is deadly. Very accurate as well. Let's see what kind of units these are. I think they're just, yeah, they're just regional groups, essentially, and the the VM are crushing them right now. They're not the strongest units. We're going to take this unit. They've sort of gotten trapped behind the lines here in the mountains with some possible VC guerrilla units, so let's hope that they make it out. Also, I'm worried about this unit because we've got an airfield here, and it's pretty open to VC attack. It's close to Con Tum and Pleiku. Both huge Viet Cong, or VM, excuse me. I keep saying Viet Cong. They essentially turned into the Viet Cong, so do forgive me. But basically, VM recruitment points. So this is scary stuff. Let's hit that HQ again. I know we can destroy it with enough support. Bring in those bombers, because they might not be around next turn. Definitely moving into the vehicle. Generally, just like any strategy game, moving into a city with a vehicle, it's not going to work as well as if you move infantry. But we just don't have that luxury, let's say. We might not be able to attack the HQ until next turn. No, we could still move in. And the likelihood of success is fair. I'll take that. But as you can see, these other units are too tired to attack. They've already done their attack this turn. They're through. They're finished. Actually going to try to move this gunboat in. Oh, yeah. The more the merrier. I don't think our destroyers can get in, though. That's a bit too far. Okay. Ooh, I don't like this. So as you can see, they're very close to Hua Dong. I don't know if we can do anything against this unit. It's a guerrilla unit. The likelihood of success is poor. So we're going to keep smashing over here. This is where we're doing very well, and where we want to break Nguyen's HQ, and then we can start turning to the south to deal with that situation. So we can send just about everybody in for this. Go for the kill, boys. Likelihood of success is excellent, and again, that's against an HQ unit. Plan another attack over here. There's also some guerrilla units we can't see, but we'll certainly see them during the battle. Okay. Also, I'm not sure if you noticed, guys, but our GAP, our colonial paratrooper units, are gaining strength, so I'm guessing keeping them close to the city here improves that strength level. And I'm going to move their group out and hit this Viet Minh unit, and look at that, we immediately destroyed it. We want to try to get this guy back to the front lines over here in the south, but for this turn, he's going to stay put. That being said, he just totally annihilated that unit, so he's going to be very useful in the future. Yeah, these units are not going to attack. A lot of our guys are just tired. I mean, we've been fighting for this city the entire time we've played this campaign. Okay, let's go for it. Nicely done, boys. So we got them off the road. That's a start. Doesn't seem like a huge deal, but it definitely makes a difference. Nice! Look at that, guys, pushing them back across the river in the north. And this is why, if you've just started on this episode, you should check out episode 1 of this series, because when you see just how many enemies were here initially, you're going to be amazed at how well we've done. We are containing them, but every time it's their turn, they manage to push through just a little bit more. It's just very hard to beat such an elusive unit, or an elusive enemy, and also the amount of men they have far outweighs us. The benefits in our case is we have destroyers, we have air support, and we have tanks, things like that, which really helps. So for instance over here, an excellent attack. Look at that, completely destroying all those defenders. Over here though, for instance, this was a weak attack where we got crushed. That was all the enemy had, 18 irregular squads, 4 mortar squads, and look at the damage they did to us. Taking out machine guns, 81mm mortars. This is stuff we can't afford to lose. Over here in a land attack, a more just typical battle in the mountains. Managed to get a decent engagement there. I would say that's pretty even, but technically we won. And over here we did manage to take this area from the enemy. We did an okay job. Actually, a very okay job. Those are the kind of results we want to get. This is in the swamps. Pretty good. So, just got to keep on keeping on. I think at this point we have to end the turn because there's no way these guys are going to be able to go for another attack. It just ain't going to happen. Yeah, they are tired. Look at that. Nobody can move. We might be able to group move with this armored unit, and this might not be advisable, but I'm going to try to attack. This armored unit is pretty battered, and that's why the likelihood of success is poor. So anybody I can bring to this fight, I will. I mean anybody. Okay, let's see. Bring in some... This is Laotian artillery, so even Laos is involved in helping us. Incredible. Still very poor. I mean, it's a big group of Viet Minh units. A really big group. We'll keep moving more units over. As many as we can get, guys. I think that's it. No one else is willing to fight. It's been a long day. Just doesn't look like it's going to go very well for us. Let's at least attack the guerrilla units here. No, wait a minute. Yeah, we can. We're right. We actually have them surrounded by a lot of regular units, but I think having them surrounded will increase our chances of destroying them. Why? No, come on. I don't know why we can't select the Hanoi HQ. There we go. Okay, guys. After this, it's also going to be the enemy's turn unless a miracle occurs. So we did destroy that unit. That's cool. And, of course, getting more units sort of in the north of the city there to root out any of the enemies that made it through. And now it's going to be the Viet Minh turn. And you guys are going to see how these guys react. I mean, they are not playing around. Look at some of these combats, man. We did incredibly well with some of them. In fact, in general, anytime we're playing our turn, we're doing pretty well, honestly. Like over here, look at this. Just total destruction of an entire army. Everything here is destroyed. Good work, men. Vive la France. Enemies also getting a lot of more replacements and reinforcements than we are, and they keep popping up in those cities like Wei, also in those cities in the mountains where we have no control, except for those militia units, which are pretty useless. As you can see here, the enemy's pushing us back on the coast, and I had said that earlier, they were going to do this. And you can see this massive army of 1024 and 1126. These are huge armies, so now we're going to have to shift our attention towards them, or else they will absolutely push through the city. And in fact, they might have enough men to go ahead and begin pushing through the city now. You can see what the enemy's doing. They're actually setting up some guerrilla units from that southern city. And it looks like most of the units popping up there from the south are not official Viet Minh units, but actually just guerrillas. So it's very similar to sort of the Viet Cong and the North Vietnamese. The Viet Cong were the guerrilla hand of the North Vietnamese, but often they were in the south, they were farmers, they didn't necessarily have uniforms, things like that. So I see a very similar situation happening here. See there as well, guerrilla units breaking through. Even in the south. In the south, I knew they were going to break through. It's just a matter of time. Oh boy. Nasty attack. We held, though. Our men did hold there. And I think they're going to hold here as well against the engineers. Sure enough. Got those trenches dug, those foxholes dug, ready for the enemy. We also have some bomber support, which also assists us on their turn. So that's another thing. The enemy, however, has a lot of artillery support. A lot. I mean, way more than we do. But I'd rather have bomber and destroyer support, at least along the coast. Otherwise, it's a bit redundant. I don't like that they're opening up that gap in the southern part of the city. They've broken in before, and we've retaken it, then they've retaken it themselves, and then we've retaken it. So it's been back and forth 2 times already. But Nam Dinh is under our control right now. That might change. Look at that. They're trying even another attack in the north. Our men are still holding. We've got some really heavy-duty paratroopers up there. It's really the French paratroopers that are holding the line, as well as, of course, our armored units. And it looks like here these guys even had the cojones to attack one of our armored vehicles in the south along the road. Luckily, he held out. That was actually a heavy tank unit, so I'm pretty sure he did some damage here. They're definitely trying to push in the south there, and I'm really surprised. For once, and it might be due to so many victories that we've had in the last few turns, our men are actually holding their positions, which is really good news for us. Now, better news would be if we got some reinforcements. Okay, there we go. So you can see in some cases, massive losses on our side where they got 100% of our army as well. I'm hoping, though, that that's a really small group of men, and I think it is. As you can see there, yeah, just a few men that got trapped behind enemy lines, and they're probably rotting in some Viet Minh jail right now. And there are some instances like over here where we held, and they actually took more losses than we did. Tiny battles, but tiny battles make the difference in war. Ooh, sorry about that, guys. Well, the good thing is that this game does autosave, but I'll have to jump into the autosave file, and we will continue the series next time. Thanks for watching, guys. Take care. Yes, that is a lot of stuff on the screen. I got to get this thing cleaned up. Have a great day, guys. Like I said, if you haven't seen the series, please make sure to go jump in and take a look. Take a look at this actual series. I'm going to go ahead and reopen the Operational Art of War. But basically, we could just jump into the autosave, and it does save at the end of every turn, which is very helpful. I'm going to go ahead. Auto. Yay. So, guys, let me know what you would like to do in this particular turn. It looks like the Viet Minh's going to redo their turn again. I'm not going to force you to watch that. And we'll save this game and continue in the next